Jeez, just hit myself on the freaking hand. Oh my god. Hey everyone, it's Holly and I am here with a series review because I said I was going to review 50% of the books I read this year and I've reviewed like none of them, so gotta be doing something. So I'm going to review the Scoundrels of St. James series by Lorraine Heath, and I did read all of these, so I don't even know. Who knows when I read these? I don't remember things. I think in January and February. So really quick, it is a series of 4 books. There's also a novella which I have not read, but I consider the series complete for me at this point. I do plan on reading the novella at some point. The first book is In Bed with the Devil, then Between the Devil and Desire, then Surrender to the Devil, and Midnight Pleasures with a Scoundrel. And the series basically follows this group of 5 friends. You have Luke, Dodger, Franny, James, and Graves. So James is James Swindler, and they are all kids who grew up in like the bad part of London, and they were part of this like pickpockety gang kind of thing, like Oliver. And Luke is thought to be the like missing grandson of an earl, so the earl takes him in, right? An earl? And so the earl takes him in and then brings all of his friends in as well and kind of helps educate them and raise them. So they're now in this world of like the town, whatever. They're in society. And but they're all kind of dealing with the fact that they don't necessarily feel good enough or feel fully accepted because of their past crimes and life and all of that stuff. And it's their love stories, obviously, because they are historical romances. So overall, I gave the series 4 stars. I gave the first book, In Bed with the Devil, 5, the second 2, 4 stars, and the third book, 3 stars. Or fourth book, 3 stars. Sorry. So that averages out to 4 stars. I do think it's a pretty strong series. It's, you know, it's Lorraine Heath, so of course it's good. Like I said before, it definitely has tons of Oliver references, and I get that Oliver Twist is probably in the public domain, but I'm just surprised that there was no, like, acknowledgement or author's note about it. Charles Dickens does show up in one of the books, and, but these characters have pretty similar names to characters in Oliver Twist, so, or at least the musical Oliver. I said this in my wrap-ups. I've never read Oliver Twist, but I've like listened to the musical. So you have Dodger, Bill Sikes, Franny, I think is she? I don't know. Franny, I don't know. But Nancy, Fagin, all of those are characters in the musical Oliver. So it was kind of odd for me to be reading it. I don't know, it felt weird, but it is what it is. I definitely enjoyed almost all of the characters. I loved the characters in the first book. I loved their story and how they came to be together, and it was amazing. Dodger is definitely your like moody, mysterious guy, if that's what you're looking for. To some extent, I don't remember his name, but the Duke in Surrender to the Devil, which is Franny's story, is kind of the same way, but I think he comes across a little more douchey. He just does some things that are just stupid, in my opinion. Well, 2 of the books, Surrender to the Devil and Between the Devil and Desire, both have kids kind of in them. Franny is all about trying to help the kids that were like them. She builds an orphanage and she's taking care of these boys. There's a few boys that come and go in this book. One particularly sticks around. And then Between the Devil and Desire, the heroine has a son from her previous marriage. So he's young, he's like 5 or 6. So obviously you have that going on. I am not a huge fan of kids in books. I mentioned that before. But I did, you know, they added a little something, I guess. And actually, I think I did mention this in a wrap-up. There is like a spin-off series to these books called The Gentleman of St. James, I believe. And that follows kind of the kids of these characters and their lives and romances and everything, which I am very intrigued to read about and see what happens to all of these kids, especially the 2 boys in these books. What happens to them when they grow up. I did read these books almost back to back. I did feel some of the plot lines were a little redundant. They deal with a lot of like dealing with who your father is and not knowing those things. and with, like I said, like the socioeconomic climb that they make and dealing with what that means coming into a title, and if society doesn't accept you, which those are all interesting topics, and I do like reading about those things, but because every book basically dealt with the same issue, it came to be a little redundant. So if you were going to read these, I would suggest reading them separately, and like not all at once. Don't marathon them. But in general, I would recommend it. I think it is a great series. I recommend pretty much anything I read by Lorraine Heath, so that goes without saying. And I do think, even though it's redundant, I think each one kind of has a slightly different storyline depending on what you're looking for, which can be nice, kind of like a different character or a different couple for every person. Like this one, you know, has the kid thing, which I'm not into, but I know people love kid stories. This one, Midnight Pleasures with a Scoundrel, has some like revengey storylines going on and has some pretty big twists. So if that's something you're looking for, you would probably like this one. You know, just those kinds of things. This one sort of has like, sort of, in Bed with the Devil, sort of has like a She's All That kind of a thing. Not exactly, but the idea of like trying to help somebody fit better and be more like popular and fit in with society more, but not in the same way that She's All That is. But yes, so that is my series review-y thing for Scoundrels of St. James, and I hope you enjoyed this, and I really am trying to do reviews. I feel like I don't have enough to say about books, and I think part of that is doing the weekly wrap-ups. I have more time to talk about them. I may have to revisit my bookish goals. I don't know. If you have read these and you wanted to say anything about them, good or bad, or scratch myself, good or bad, feel free to do that in the comments below as well. And thank you so much for watching. Bye!